stunning looks than swift.
265 felt some distance away at 28 for 3 and then 59 for 4. It still felt some way away when Bangladesh were 161 for 6. But thanks to half centuries from Shakib Al Hasan and Tawhid Hridoy and then vital contributions down the order from Nasoom Ahmed and Mehdi Hassan, they have set India a target of 266 to win. Welcome to Maruti Suzuki Arena, presents ESPN Cricket for Matchday, powered by JBL, in the company of Anil Kumble and Robin Uthappa to look back on the first innings of this last Super 4's encounter. It is congratulations to Robin Uthappa, who wins round 1 of this Karnataka predictions derby. His predicted total of 260 being closer today, Anil. Well done, Robin.
Thank you very much.
But
nice shot in the dark, I'd say.
Yeah, it did feel like both of you might be some way away at some point at an earlier stage in this innings. But while there are vital batting contributions to look back upon, it is worth starting from the India bowling front because, Anil, it is often spoken of that, just that getting rid of the tail at times can be an Achilles heel. Bangladesh themselves did this to India a couple of times last year. In that series they won. First thing first, do you think it is a problem, India not being able to get the last 4 wickets quite often?
Yeah, my prediction was more from last night's laborious 1 o'clock finish, and yeah, I mean India, yes, I mean will have to think hard because even against Nepal, the last I think 4 batters, I mean they had 160 for 6 or 7 against Nepal, yeah, and then they went on to score almost 240. So yes, that's something that India will have to think. But credit to Bangladesh, they batted really well. I thought, of course, the skipper batted brilliantly to score his 80, and then that break, the drinks break, and then suddenly the first ball inside edge bowled. Otherwise, he was looking good for 100, Shakib. So, yeah, I mean, Bangladesh have batted well. We expected a better performance from Bangladesh because you want, from a Bangladesh perspective, you wanted them to also, sort of get together for the World Cup. They've had a very poor run in this Asia Cup, but well done to Bangladesh today after being almost 4 down, 55, 56 for 4, and then from there to score 260, 266. I think really credit to them. And Hridoy again batted really well. I've been very impressed with this young batter. Certainly a bright future for Bangladesh, and the lower order. Nasoom and Mehdi ensured that there were no more hiccups and got that contribution late towards the end.
Yeah, Robin, at 193 for 7 at 41.2, you thought this is a chance of maybe a 210 kind of total, perhaps, especially considering that Nasoom Ahmed had a highest List A total of 38. That was his previous List A best, List A average of 10 after 50 innings. When we watch from the outside, oftentimes you wonder, why are the fast bowlers not bowling Yorkers? That might be a short way of getting rid of batters who come lower down the order. Is that a valid ask from a layperson? And what do you explains this, at times, this inability of running through the tail?
Well, honestly, when I was actually outside Yash and I thought 190 odd for 7, I have to rush back home to be online. and I thought, okay, they're going to wrap this tail up quickly. But like you said, I think the kind of presence of mind to kind of have that intent to go after the wickets at that point in time and use the skills that they actually possess were a miss today. There are ways of intimidating lower order batters and try and get them out, but they haven't used that today. We've all known that Shardul Thakur generally is the kind of bowler who gets a little expensive, but he manages to get wickets. And you'd hope for someone like Prasidh Krishna also, when he gets the opportunity to actually put his hand up and say, okay, the tail, it's a great opportunity for me to grab 3-4 wickets here, and but again, didn't do that today. And it makes the Indian bowling lineup look a little slim, if I have to call it, without Bumrah and Shami.
Right. We will come back to the Indian bowling, but let's spend some time on the Bangladesh batting, and where better to begin than the skipper, who made 80 which might not sound like a very high score given Shakib Al Hasan has so many ODI hundreds, but believe it or not, that's his highest score against a top 10 team since the last ODI World Cup. Only two higher scores overall, both of which came against Zimbabwe and Ireland. And Anil, given everything we spoke of in the build-up to this game, Bangladesh's batting, needing to, just step up so close to a World Cup, the captain's runs, just runs at all, and especially given the match situation, will be a source of immense confidence going to India.
See, Bangladesh, what I see of in this Asia Cup, there are some really high-quality young players, who are emerging, who require the support and the leadership from the senior members, and today Shakib certainly provided that. Liton Das, again, got out to a beauty. I thought, Shami's delivery to Liton Das was absolutely like how Babar Azam got from Hardik Pandya. So it was unplayable, and you need leadership around when you have such good quality young players in your team, and it only augurs well for Bangladesh that Shakib has scored runs. And once the bigger players come in, Mushfiqur, Mustafizur is playing today as well, so he'll have to now lead the bowling attack, especially the faster bowlers. Tuskin is there, he's been around for a while, but he'll have to sort of shoulder the responsibility and lead the team. That's what you want in a team, especially in a tournament such as the World Cup. You want your senior players to take the initiative, let the younger players handle the pressure. You want the senior players to handle the pressure and not the younger players. So I think Shakib has done really well today, and it's good that Bangladesh has got these runs. It's not going to be easy for India chasing these down. Yes, India is not playing some of the key players today in this game, but even with the changes that they have made, it's not going to be an easy surface. I thought the surface certainly had a little more turn than yesterday when Sri Lanka played Pakistan, so it's not going to be an easy run chase.
Robin, just on Shakib, he's never been a big hitter. He's always been known for his smarts as far as his batting is concerned, and that was on display. You might have thought he's taking the conservative route, which perhaps he was forced to given the scoreline, but probably knew that there are two left-arm spinners who will come to him, and you look at the numbers against Aksar and Jadeja, 51 of 37 balls.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think clever players, experienced players actually use that to their advantage. They know who the bowlers they're going to target. They know that, okay, this is the situation of the game. This is how I'm going to plan my innings. And if I'm going to target anyone, then these are the guys I'm going to look to target. The ones they feel most confident against, right? And it's again on that particular day. Could have been on that on the day based on the nature of the wicket. He would have felt maybe on another day, perhaps, you would have probably felt, I can probably take advantage of the fast bowlers and perhaps not the spinners. But today was a fantastic opportunity for him to attack the left-arm spinners, and he did that successfully. And what you got to love about Shakib is that he absorbed the pressure and led from the front. He hadn't gotten much scores before this, but the fact that he was able to go there and in a pressure situation build an important partnership with Miraz and then with Hridoy. Just shows that he's got the skills up there, and he's able to absorb the pressure really well as well.
I mean, he has more than 7,000 one-day runs, which is fantastic for an all-rounder. Very little you sort of think of when you talk about international all-rounders. Very rarely you sort of think of Shakib, but he's been outstanding throughout his career, both with the bat and more so with the ball. I mean, he bowls in different times of the innings. He bowls in the power play, he can bowl in the middle overs, and also sometimes he's bowled the death for Bangladesh. So he's a very versatile cricketer, and as a batter as well, he hits in very unusual areas. As a left-hander, as it is for a bowler, it's tougher to adjust, and with Shakib hitting in different areas, it becomes even more tougher.
Yeah, I think it is only Shakib and Shahid Afridi and Sanat Jayasuriya who have 7,000 plus runs and 300 plus wickets, which tells you where he stands, and which is good signs for Bangladesh in what is their last game before the World Cup, excluding the warm-ups. You have been very impressed by Tauhid Hridoy. That knock against Sri Lanka almost took Bangladesh over the line, and another steady one this time. What is it that he's bringing to this batting lineup, where the middle order otherwise is just all experience, but this is the new guy?
I think smarts. I think he's adapted to the situation really well. What we saw, he placed the spin well as well. He was on the back foot, quite low in in his approach, and then he was looking to hit square and took on the faster bowlers. He was not afraid to just nudge around, and the pace at which he got as well. Bangladesh were in trouble at that time, and he came in and scored at almost run a ball. So even against when they played Sri Lanka, his batting was similar. It was almost run a ball that he scored. So it's not just about occupying the crease, but also always looking for that run and having that intent right from ball one, and just the awareness around the situation that gets presented when he walks in.
Yeah, and that awareness and adaptability, Robin, is almost tested even more. If you look at the numbers on the screen, in this tournament, Bangladesh have shuffled Tawhid around quite a bit. Batted number 5, then 3, then 5. Now the last 2 games at 6 and steady contributions in both. Is that another sign of maturity at such a nascent stage of your career, when you're having to adapt to different game situations and scoring? And secondly, what would you nail down as his best position in this Bangladesh batting lineup?
I'd have to say at number 5 would be the best batting position for him. I think he absorbs pressure really well. I think that's his biggest skill. I think the fact that he's able to go there and assess a situation and absorb pressure exceedingly well is what makes him special, I think. And like you said, I think he's at a very nascent stage of his career. And I think the more time he spends in the middle and the more opportunities he gets, and if he settles down into one position, I think you'll see him playing some match-winning knocks as well.
All right, let's focus our energy on the India bowling effort. It started so sharp, Anil. Shami getting through Litton, and Shardul Thakur with the new ball, which is a role you don't see much of with Shardul usually in ODIs. What did you make of that? How much of a addition could that be to his skill set?
I think we discussed this today, that both Shardul and Akshar Patel needed to bowl their full quota of overs. Shardul did bowl his full quota. Akshar bowled 9 overs. So if Shardul had to do that, then the only approach was to open the bowling and look at Prasidh Krishna to sort of hold the middle order with a space, and also later part with his variations towards the end. So I think that's the role that Shardul will be looked at, especially if you are playing only 3 seamers, and if he's a part of that 3-seamer attack. Once Hardik comes back, and even if you have Shardul there, we have seen Hardik take up that role as well. So I think that's when it becomes a bit difficult for Shardul to play this kind of a role of opening the bowling. We know that Shardul will go for runs. I mean, he's always sort of experimented and gives away those boundary balls, but he also has that unique ability to pick up wickets. I mean, out of the 3 wickets, 2 were off the inside edge, and he has a knack of picking wickets. So not a bad option. If there's a little bit of swing, he's pretty good early on. But if Hardik and Shardul both play, then I don't see Shardul really opening the bowling.
You've used the word there, which was going to form the core of my next question to Robin, because 2 chopped on inside edges, 1 top edge. Between those boundary balls, a lot of times you feel one of those in itself end up getting Shardul Thakur the wicket. It's a word that we use a lot, a happy knack of getting wickets. We've now seen him for a few years, do you have any more than the happy knack that works for Shardul Thakur as an ODI bowler?
we call him the golden arm. Every time we need a wicket, even if to give a few runs away, chuck the ball at him, and then he has the ability to kind of just get wickets. He'll be a little expensive, and I think he's taken that in his stride. And I think he's okay giving the runs away as long as he's effective getting wickets. And the only trouble for him is if he doesn't get wickets, his figures look terrible. Even today, I think the most expensive bowler on the day gave away 6.5 runs and over. Having said that, 3 wickets. Again, if he didn't have those wickets in that wicket column, it wouldn't have been a pretty sight for him, But somehow he's got that ability and a conviction. And even when I've played, say, cricket against him in the IPL or Ranji Trophy cricket, he always believes he's going to get a wicket now. It's going to happen now. I'm going to get this batter out now. So I think that conviction also goes a long way in him being able to produce those wickets.
Quick word, Anil, on Shami and Prasidh, who were both players we were looking forward to, just in terms of maybe not so much the wickets, but just them bowling, having long spells, both of them did get almost their full allotment. Your verdict?
Yeah, I think both of them were impressive. I mean, we saw Shami a little bit off line initially, but then he got his adjustments right and then bowled a beauty to Liton Das. And I mean, that's Shami for you. I would certainly throw him the new ball if he's playing, because that's the role that you would expect Shami to do, pick up a couple of early wickets, and he's always on the money. When, you know, whatever is there from the surface, in the air, he will get that because of the prominent seam that he puts in. And Prasidh was again impressive. His speeds were really good, 145. And then the slower balls, I mean, the difference between that and the slower ball is massive. I mean, he bowled a slower ball at what, 88 kilometers per hour. And then he's adding more variation, so which means that, you know, that's the role that he also wants to take up. It shows the conviction and the confidence to be able to play that role. It's not easy bowling in the death overs in a one-day international, no matter who the batter is. But you know, he's done that. He did that for Rajasthan, a couple of seasons ago when he played in the IPL consistently. So I guess, you know, it's something that really augurs well. I thought he ticked all the boxes. Yes, he didn't get a wicket, but you know, he certainly, one wicket he got, but you know, he certainly ticks all the boxes.
And what about Akshar? We had our eyes on him. He finally got a long spell.
Yes.
What did you make of it?
No, he got a wicket. He got one to grip and turn. Rohit took that catch at slip. And again, you know, Shakib Al Hasan, left-hander, got the better of the two left-hand spinners. He sort of looked to attack. And in the power play, once the power play is over, you have that, you know, middle over power play where, you know, that stage you are one fielder short. And the last thing that you want is a left-hander facing a left-arm spinner, especially someone who has the experience and the knack to take down a spinner. And he, like I said, Shakib hits it in unusual areas. He sort of picks his spot and then goes for it, rather than saying, okay, if the ball's coming, then I'll do this. But he probably, you know, predetermines and then looks to play there, and that becomes a bit difficult in conditions like these. But overall, much better from what we saw Akshar bowl in the last game. So yeah, it's still early days for the World Cup.
Right. Enough on the frontline bowlers, Robin. How good was it to see someone who's carded in the top 5 roll his arm over for India in an international?
It's nice, isn't it? I think I can't remember the last time in recent history where a batter was bowling for India. I remember in the 2011 World Cup side, you had a bunch of them who could actually roll their arm over. And it goes a long way when a captain needs options, when your main bowlers are having an off day. You know, it was nice to see that he bowled fairly decently as well. You know, and he's got that control as well. And what I like about Tilak Verma is his conviction in his own ability. Even though we are seeing it now, probably for one of the first times, he truly believes in his ability. I think that goes a long way. Confidence goes a long way in what you can achieve when you're playing cricket. And he's got that self-confidence in him. And, you know, I think he's only going to get better from here. I think he's got the potential to be a really big cricketer for India.
Let's have the sternest examination for Tilak Verma on his ODI debut. Let's have Anil Kumble judge a spinner. Made an ODI cap, bowled 4 overs. What did you make of how he bowled?
No, it's good. It's good that you have an option, because I've been sort of you know, saying this for a long time, that you need your batters to bowl. Yes, we keep talking about the depth. The depth, not necessary that a bowler giving you batting option is a depth. A batter giving you bowling option is also depth in your lineup, and that's something that was lacking. And I'm glad that he was able to bowl those 4 overs and almost picked up a wicket of Shakib Al Hasan. KL Rahul missed that opportunity, but steady. I mean, Rohit also brought him in at a juncture where Bangladesh were under pressure, so that also helps for a young spinner, young bowler who's making his debut to come in and bowl. But very impressed. 4 overs. That's a good thing to start with.
Yeah, that one missed opportunity ties us quite neatly into what has to be discussed, not for the first time, for an Indian fielding effort this Asia Cup. Robin, for 3 dropped catches, 1 half chance. The 2 of Mehdi didn't cost India much, but Shakib dropped on 28. Tauhid, a half chance between KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma when he was on 21. This is a frustrating habit.
Well, I don't know if you can call it a habit. I think, as in obviously, you don't want this to happen. But when it does happen, it gives you a lot of time to introspect as to what are the aspects that you need to work on, because feelings are controllables, and those are things that you can actually work on yourself. And I think the team management, and in a sense, I think it's also good that's happening at this point, because then you know that these are the aspects you can't take for granted. And sometimes in the pursuit of excellence, you miss one or two things, and you've got to be grateful that it comes up so that you can work on it. And they have the opportunity to work on it now, and in the next game, and the series against Australia, and then the warm-up games, and then the World Cup. So there's enough time to work on these aspects, and you don't want these things to happen at an important juncture of a big tournament like the World Cup. So these are just wrinkles that need to be ironed out as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, let me correct my choice of words there. Not a frustrating habit, but a frustrating pattern, because we ran up the numbers a bit earlier this Asia Cup, and in this ODI World Cup cycle, among the teams that are at the World Cup, only Afghanistan have a lower catching efficiency than India.
Yeah, I think, out of those four that you mentioned, one probably is too harsh.
Yeah.
I mean, Hriday's was, I don't think you can call that a catch. But yes, I agree that India has been sort of, slightly off the boil when it comes to catching in this competition. They need to settle, even against Nepal, I thought was very poor. And yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of, I know they practice a lot. It's just a matter of just being focused at that point in time and then being ready. It's all about that. And I'm sure the management is sort of measuring every stop versus every miss, and then trying to improve upon that. And that's exactly what the management does. And I'm sure, you don't want these kind of lapses in a major game.
Right, so it is a combination of those lapses and some solid, determined batting from Bangladesh in the second half of this innings, which ensures a target of 266 for India. Just quickly setting things up for the second innings, Robin, Bangladesh know that in the last game, India were troubled, and how? By slow left arm of Dunit Veralage. They've got 20 overs at least in Nasum and Shakib. You expect that to dictate the flow of this innings?
Yeah, I certainly do. They don't have Taskin Ahmad today and Shoriful, but I think Mustafizur is also up to the task, and he's caused problems for India in the past. But I think the spinners are the ones who play a big part. Not just the left-arm spinners, I think the off spinners as well. They're really good. Both the Mehdis are actually very good off spinners. I think they will, pose a few threats, and we'll have to see how India deal with them.
The benefit of the size of this target means that there's also more room for batting time. You see the likes of Surya Kumar Yadav, Tilak Varma actually having a say in this game?
Oh, yes. It's not going to be an easy target. 266 is a tall order. You would want both the openers who are in great form to get India off to a good start, and then lay the platform for Tilak Varma, Surya, KL to come back, and Ishan to sort of finish the game. So yes, it's going to be challenging. They have two left-arm spinners. One is a very experienced one at that, and he bowls in the power play. So you won't be surprised if Shakib runs in the third or fourth over and then starts bowling left-arm spin. So that's something that Bangladesh will be aware that that's a sort of not a weakness, but at least batters are vulnerable for that kind of bowling. And if there's any turn, the two left-arm spinners will get that.
So do you see India winning this?
I think so. I think India has the ability. They are in top form. Foundation at the top is very important. If that doesn't happen, then it'll be sort of pressure on India. But it'll be a close game.
You want to give a margin to see if we can level with Robin by the end of this day?
No, I wanted to be over quickly. So I would rather have a 100-run partnership at the start, and then get Surya in and then finish things off. Yeah. So yeah, no, I think 47th over.
47 says Anil. Robin?
Yeah, I'll go 45th over, 5 wickets down.
All right. So he's being even kinder.
No,
to
I'm
you.
happy if that happens.
Yeah, the only thing I'm hoping for is the one thing we haven't seen today. I hope it stays away because we want to give you
Don't say
and
it.
all of us something that's earlier than 1 a.m. for sure. All right. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Anil. Thank you so much for your company. Look forward to being joined by you at the end of this innings, this game, whenever it does happen. You can keep pace with the chase and everything else going around the world of cricket through the ESPN Cricinfo mobile app, which we hope you've downloaded by now. Be sure to tune in, and we'll be back right at the end of the match to wrap it up and also start looking ahead to the final on Maruti Suzuki Arena. Presents ESPN Cricinfo Matchday, powered by JBL.
Stunning looks, then swift.
Make sure you download the ESPN Cricinfo app to stay updated with the very latest from the world of cricket.